Gotta do this here together.
Boss.
It take a team
Boss up.
to achieve the dream.
We pay the cost to be the boss. Invest without loss. Young Boss Media, your coverage get tossed. From lab stabs, videos too. Tapped in the movies, the who's a who. Shows, pros, just do it for no. Entrepreneurs, plan, see how it grows. Fly magazines, we flip the scene. Check out Ray J, see on the big screen. By invitation across the nation. Young Boss Monica, she know what she facing. The leader of the crew, she know what to do. Check her out the front if you wanna come through. Only if you got her master plan. Make it in the control room, holla at Stan. Bless the hairstyle, thank God we healthy. Bossed up media, we taking over Chelsea. Young Boss Media, who you need is us. In this community, what we feeding ya. Young Boss Media, who you need is us. In this community, what we feeding ya. Young Boss Media, who you need is us. In this community, what we feeding ya.
How amazing is that trailer? First of all, let me just say that was fantastic. So welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. I am extremely honored that Monica has invited me to be one of your expert facilitators today. For those of you who weren't able to catch all of the greatness that came in earlier, make sure that you pick up the recordings for that, for all of the great things that happened earlier this morning and throughout the afternoon for the summit so far, and stay and catch the rest for later. My name is Naketa Thigpen, the #1 balance and relationship advisor in the world. I primarily work with 6- and 7-figure fast scaling married women entrepreneurs. We also have a global personal development company that services our high level exec. We say ambitious women in business and a few brave men, those leaders that are really trying to climb the ladder and have really good personal leadership and really, structure everything that they do in a most powerful way so they can show up fully for the companies that they may serve if they are not one of my 6- and 7-figure married women entrepreneurs. So today I really wanted to talk about how you can infuse work-life balance as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, as someone who's scaling, regardless of whether or not you are at the super early stages of your business or you have been doing this for a while and you're just really figuring out the figure-outables, as Marie Forleo would often say, with how to do it better so you can be more efficient in your business. So one of the things that I like to incorporate more than anything is my favorite B word besides balance is boundaries. So let me back this up a little bit and set the stage. A lot of people have semantic-based issues with the word balance. There is no such thing as work-life balance. It's harmony, it's integration, it's all these other words besides balance. You will learn, if you have not already, that simplicity always wins. And just because something is simple doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but simplicity always wins. Just use the simple words, use the simple context, and understand what it means to you so that you can be powerful in how you infuse whatever it is you decide to call it, right? So I often give the example of physically being out of balance, right? Like off balance. If I stand up right now and I feel like I'm losing, my gait a little bit, the way that I'm standing, I'm losing my grip and how I'm about to walk, or I feel a little bit dizzy, I'm not going to say I feel like I'm out of harmony or that I'm not fully integrated. I'm going to say I'm off balance. And that's typically how you feel when you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 plates spinning in the air and you're trying to juggle all that's happening as maybe you're still working full time. Maybe you also have your side hustle, project on the side, in addition to a passion project, in addition to committee responsibilities, in addition to your family responsibilities, in addition to your caregiving responsibilities. And I didn't even touch all the little projects and stuff in between where we're just showing up to source our service to someone and being helpful with a friend or someone who just needs a little bit of the expertise that we have that's only a couple of steps ahead of where they are, but we can just be helpful. So I didn't even touch all that. If you are handling all those plates in the air and one of them drops, you're not gonna be like, oh shoot, I was out of harmony. You're gonna say, I'm out of balance, right? So just being really honest with yourself without getting caught in the semantics of a word is crucial for your own mindset as an entrepreneur who is really not here to play. Like, you came to serve, and to serve fully, whether you are serving a product, a service, or a combination of them. You're obviously doing what you do not only to create the legacy for your own family and for your own structure, but also so that you can help the world be a better place, right? Like, that, I would hope, is your greater intention that's pulling you forth every day with all of the challenges that all of us, no matter where you are in your business, are dealing with literally every hour of the day. There's imposter syndrome, there's burnout, there's all kinds of layers that we're going to dive into in a few shakes. But I wanted to really back up and address that common pushback that I get all the time as a balance and relationship advisor. Like, oh, you do balance? Like, I don't really believe in it. Okay, you can not believe in it if you want, but when one of those plates drop, tell me what word comes to mind first, right? Like, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. So what I also like to do is define it for people the way that I mean it, so they understand where my heart is and where I'm coming from. So work-life balance is a formula for me and for everyone that I teach and I serve. It is simply admitting your truth. If you look at it as a fraction, right? Admitting your truth is at the top, over the boundaries that you create to help you achieve the reality of that truth, which includes keeping distractions that pull you away from that truth out. So if I say I'm a mogul in the making, if that is my truth, if that is where I'm being pulled forth to, that's where I'm going, regardless of what type of business I'm in, what I'm creating for the world. Doesn't matter if I am a consultant, a coach, a network marketer, a social media expert, a branding expert, a performer, a creative, a writer, a filmmaker, it does not matter, right? But if that's what I say my truth is, just for this example, a mogul in the making, then my boundaries have to reflect that that's the truth that I'm going after. So your boundaries are not all about just saying no to everyone. No is my favorite word, by the way. It is the most powerful thing that you can stand in and embody, because it gets rid of those distractions that are in fact sabotaging your success, sabotaging you from being able to get to the truth that is literally pulling you forth, right? So my yes has to be appropriate to that as well. If my boundaries are not aligned, then I will not achieve my truth, and I will attract a lot of nonsense to me. I will get my hands involved, my hands, my mind, my spirit, my energy, my time, all caught up in a bunch of stuff and people and relationships that are literally pulling me further away. Does not mean that I will not eventually get there, because that's my destiny. But you're going to go through a lot of unnecessary challenges that don't have to be a part of your story, right? There's all kinds of beautiful lessons that come out of our drama, and on some levels our trauma, right? But some of those things can be avoided with some guidance, with some support, and with some boundaries, right? Like, there's kind of a cocktail of things that you need to make the juiciest pathway to your destiny, wherever it is that you're going. So I like to give that formula with a little context, right? I'm a mogul in the making. That is my truth. So my boundary means, you know what? My sister, my cousin, my friend, my boo, they invited me to 5 events over the last 3 weeks. I have to say no to some of them. Doesn't have to be every single one. But if I'm a mogul in the making, that means I need to be working on my strategy, not getting stuck in strategy mode, because some of us get stuck in the research and the writing and all the I am going to do's and aren't really doing it, right? But you have to have time for that. There's stages to the growth of your success, right? You have to dream it. That's the thinking about what it is that you want to do, trying to process and filter, because you're so good at so many things. Which one do I pick? Could I blend them? Can I combine them? What does that look like if I do it successfully? As you're dreaming, very appropriate. Everything starts with a dream. And then you have to believe in it, right? That's kind of pushing through that imposter syndrome that comes up for everyone at every stage of their business. The Beyoncés of the world still deal with imposter syndrome. That's why she created her Sasha Fierce, right? Like, the regular Beyonce is really shy and laid back and pretty introverted. The Sasha Fierce is the version of herself that can bust through that imposter syndrome and show up in her fabulosity. I just made that word up. We're going to go with it. We'll call it a Naketaism, right? She's going to show up in her fabulosity to be able to give the world everything that we love about her fashion, her style, her confidence, and her talent, her business acumen, like all of it, right? But she had imposter syndrome too. And you can relate that to any of the people that you follow, that you admire, that you're inspired by, right? Fabulosity, right? Like we're just going to rock with that word. But there's the dreaming your dream, there's believing that you can do it, then there's the planning, that's the strategy. A lot of us, me included, first partaker of all of the lessons that I give to the world, planning is like my favorite space. Like I love planning because I'm a nerd for life. I'm a full on academic. I love researching. It's like, I get to use all the juicy parts of the left side of my brain and use the analytical and logical side and all of that. But I can't get stuck in planning. Planning doesn't necessarily in and of itself produce the impact. Planning is a part of the process for me to be balanced and to create my boundaries, but I can't get stuck there. So you have to plan and then do, right? The doing is where people get really challenged because they feel like they're doing too much. They have so much going on. And a lot of that is because of lack of boundaries. We're forgetting our truth. When you're doing too much, assuming that it's not like a major project that just has a lot of bells going on at the time, there's an audit coming up, there's an emergency personally with our family, there are definitely times when you are just going to be busy, and that is what it is. But busy shouldn't be your normal. Productive should be. You should have a productive schedule. If you are a CEO of you, of your business, of your dream, then you should have a CEO schedule, right? CEOs are not getting caught in, my cousin's going to be mad because I didn't make it to her third wedding. I love that you found love for the third time and that you're getting married. Awesome. I made it to the first one. I probably made it to the second one. I'm going to send you a gift and maybe take you to a private dinner in a month when I'm available and we can align our schedules to go, because I can't. My truth is calling me forth. I cannot and I will not sacrifice that to be a people pleaser and make you feel like I value you because I came to your third, fourth, or fifth event that month. I'm not doing it. The same with you have your friends, professional friends included, because those pro friends that come along that are often like, oh, we this was such a good lunch or dinner. And, maybe it was for a responsible, meeting to talk shop and to just build rapport, which is really important. That's all good. Perfect. But when they say things like, we need to do this more often, we should get together like once a month. No, I don't see my family once a month. And I don't mean my like husband and kids that I live with, but, family that I really, really love, like my favorite cousins in the world. I can't see them once a month because I am focused on my truth. I admit it to myself what it is that I really want to do. I do make it to all the things that I hold as valuable. I really want to make it to the graduations, those major milestones, your first wedding for sure, your first baby shower for sure. You're having a sixth baby. I'm really excited for you. I'm going to mail you a gift and I'm going to love on you. And I'm probably going to try to see if I can get to, a small group of us together at some point after you've had the baby and recovered, right? But no shade to you choosing to grow your family. That is awesome. That does not mean that my schedule has to shift because all 5 of my really good friends have 20 events every other second, in addition to my work obligations and work events and work responsibilities, right? It's like, so we have to be really honest with ourselves and deal with some of our people pleasing issues and those expectations that other people have on us and break that. So a lot of work-life balance, from the way that I define that formula, your truth over your boundaries, really is about your mindset. How bad do you want it? Do you know what you want? What was the dream? Are you still getting confused in the dream? Then we might have to really look at that. Or are you clear on your dream, but you're not really believing it and you're a little tight with not believing in yourself right now? Queen Candace, thank you. Right? Like sometimes, and it comes up. Me too. Every time over the last 9.5, 10 years, every single time that our company, my global personal development company, Big Pro Balance and Relationship Management Institute, every time we wanted to create a new division, a new program, something that was different, next level than what we did before, imposter syndrome comes up. Will my audience respond to this? Will they appreciate it? Will they honor it coming from me? It comes up. The difference is I know how to handle it and re-engineer that thing quickly now, right? Still comes up, but I know how to, pull it up from the root. Hopefully get all the root of it up. And then, when I have little micro events and things, I'm not really dealing with it. But then when I do something really big, that's another stretch of myself, I have to deal with it. And I'm not the only one. So just being really honest with yourself about where you are is super, super crucial. So now we know what the formula for work-life balance is. We understand how crucial boundaries are. We know that they will help us achieve the truth that's pulling us at the top of that formula and keep some of those distractions out if we're really honest. There's another context that we don't really have time often to admit to ourselves or address, which is really building those power partnerships. These help us stay in balance. You are not a city of your own, right? As much as the light shines from within you and we don't want to dim our lights and all those things, we are so much more powerful when we create power partnerships. And we honor that and we vet those people and we really understand what that can mean to ourselves, our brand, our impact. That helps us stay in balance. So there's a couple of things that I would really love to give you guys before we run out of any time. So I want to honor the time too. I'm like time checking for your balance, for my balance, right? To make sure we're all good. And I think we're fine. But to create those power partnerships to help us stay in balance and to create a bigger, deeper, stronger impact means really, really, truly being honest about who you want to work with. So I vet everyone. I have a formula that I call the IAC. I have formulas for everything. I told you guys it's #NerdLife for me, like all about it. The IAC stands for something specific that I use for both potential power partners as well as clients. Fortunately, I'm at the stage in my business right now where I get to choose who I work with. There was a time, that was okay. It was a part of my process. It's a part of your process too, depending on where you are in this new part of your business, this new division you're creating, or just your business in general, where you really do just want to get your portfolio going, get some examples of the work that you can do, get some testimonials in. So you may not be as detailed about how you work with in the very beginning, but at some point you have to choose it. So my IAC stands for, the I is for, am I interested? Am I interested in working with you as a client or as a potential partner? Because you may have some moral, ethical, value-based issues that I see as issues. That's a subjective opinion, right? That you may have some opinions about life. Like you might feel like women are supposed to be under your feet. I don't agree with that, right? Like you may feel that I, as a woman, am only here to answer you and not necessarily show up in my power and work with you as a peer. Or you may not respect that I am a woman and want to listen to any of the guidance that I have. And, that's a challenge. I'm not going to work with you, right? Because there are clients, like I serve a lot of powerful men too. And there are definitely some times when they want the information, they say they want it, and then they don't want to actually listen to the instruction. You're not my person. Because I don't want to waste my time giving you all the blueprints so you can create these happy marriages and continue to grow your bustling business if you're actually not going to implement it. I'm looking for my next success story, not just someone else to work with, right? So am I interested is really important. The same with my power partners. I'm not going to work with someone who is, connected to the alt-right, right? Like who's supporting them and okay with that and doesn't believe that Black Lives Matter and don't believe that women's voices matter. Like that goes against my guiding principles. I am not going to work with you no matter how many 50,000s of followers you have on Instagram. You are not my person, not my power partner, not my client. You're definitely not invited to my house, right? Like I'm really clear about that. So potential power partners. Yes, exactly. Like we want to be really mindful about whether or not we're interested in working with these people, because otherwise they could be a nightmare. You could spend more energy trying to work with a potential power partner that's supposed to make your life and your business more impactful and more balanced, and they actually create chaos in your relationships, right? Facts. Had to tell a male client I can't work with him for that same reason. Absolutely. It comes up all the time, and sometimes with females too, right? Like those females who definitely feel like, I'm smarter than you in this, and maybe I only wanted to connect with you because I was trying to figure out how are you doing it to get access to what they think is your secret sauce, when the secret sauce is you, right? Like I'm the secret sauce. I can give you everything that's in my computer, all my Dropbox files, all of it. You're still seeing things that were in my brain 20 years ago. You're not seeing where I'm at right now in my innovative state, and because half of that stuff hasn't even come out of my head for me to put it out yet. And even by the time it does, I'm still the secret sauce of my company because it's my dream, even after you've hired people and trained people to what you do. So if you're concerned about that, if you're insecure about it, just be mindful that you are what makes the difference in your business. Even if it's a product that you're designing and an amazing dress that you're the creator of, you still know that you can flip that stitch and change something around, do something different, and no one else could ever copy it, even if they tried to copy the first version of it, right? Yes, I am the secret sauce. Hashtag that all day, right? So with respect to being mindful of showing up fully, not dimming your light, being mindful of who you want to work with, the I is the first part. That's, are you interested? The second is there alignment? Right? So I could be really interested in working with John or Jane because I'm like, wow, they're really cool. I like their vibe. I like the work that they're doing, all that. But if the alignment doesn't make sense for who I want to get in front of, then I have to be honest about whether or not I'm putting my time in that. And if I do decide to do it, then it's okay, but be honest with yourself about what your agenda is, right? Be really clear, especially, well, with everyone, honestly, but especially with your potential power partners, what your agenda is. Your agenda isn't just to meet a nice person, see what they're about, see how you can support them. That's all awesome. As a business person, male or female, your agenda is to create deeper impact in your business. And if you can do that twofold by doing it with this person and helping their audience too, hallelujah, that's awesome. But be mindful of what your agenda is, right? So my agenda is always clear wherever I show up. Even here, I'll pick on this moment. My agenda is super clear. I want to show up. I want to serve Monica's audience and all the people who know, love, and trust her. I'm going to leverage her credibility with that to show you who I am, to get in front of you, to show a little bit of my expertise, just like a tiny, tiny bit, to hopefully now build some credibility with you. And for those of you where it makes sense, especially the 6 and 7 figure fast scaling married women entrepreneurs who are like my people, I want you to make sure you connect with me when we're done. Whether you follow me on Instagram at Ask Naketa or Facebook or one of the places, or you email me directly at asknaketa@thigpro.com, right? Like I want you to go further with me. If you're not quite there, if you're not a 6 and 7 figure plus business, that's okay. I'm not throwing you away. I'm showing up to serve, but that's who I came to talk to specifically, right? Like that's that person that I want to go with me even further because I can go with you further faster. If you're not there yet, that's okay. My goal is to give you some good, juicy tools, tips, and techniques that are advanced enough to get you where I want you to be so I can serve you in my realm. My agenda is really clear, right? And you have to be okay with putting your agenda forth and not feeling like, oh, well, will people be offended or mad? Why? I'm giving you tools and tips and techniques that I know are valuable because I believe in what I do, right? Remember that dream, believe, plan? I believe it. I believe in me. I want to give you information that you can apply immediately so you can believe in you. And then we can get to the planning and the doing, right? And after the doing, we're going to preserve that success so we can do it again. Whether some of you decide to sell the business and do another version or expand the business and go in a different, direction, it's all good. Naketa is a true blessing to my life. Oh, you're such a sweetie pie. That's why I love you. And that's why I love leveraging your credibility. Okay. Like, that's what it's about. So I wanted to be clear that with our potential power partners, we're interested. Is there alignment? Does it make sense for us from a business mindset? If it's philanthropy, like if you're doing something like I don't service the youth. That's not what I do in my business. Do I show up and speak to youth groups and agencies and all kinds? Absolutely. It's a part of the philanthropic arm of my life and of my business. So just being able to decipher that space of giving is okay, because there is another part to this that I'm about to give you for the C, which is, there was interested, aligned, and then there's the capacity. Do you have the capacity to fulfill this power partnership, right? The capacity is both in your time. Does it make sense for your time? Can you really honor the amount of time that it's going to take for you guys to do this joint venture like partnership, or to create this new program, or whatever it is that you're doing the partnership around, right? Like, do you have time? Does that mean 2 hours a week out of your time over the next 8 weeks that you really can carve out specifically so you guys can complete that power partnership, including the marketing and the sharing and the teaser videos and all the things that you might have to do that's in line with that? Is this a longer term project that's not going to kick off for 9 months? Okay, that's fine. What does my capacity look like over the next 9 months when I have other specific business milestones and goals to hit, right? Like, just being really honest about your time first, and then any other resources that might need to go into that. Financial resources, pulling in your referral, your other power partners, your network. Like, your network is really your net worth, right? Like, that's really a huge part of your resource. So you want to be honest about that from a capacity. If I'm flipping that around a little bit to clients, capacity matters in terms of, can they afford you as well, right? Like, and if you are giving any kind of scholarships or savings rate or discounts, it still has to be in alignment with your truth. Where are you going? What is the value of the product or service that you have, and how you plan to get there? Because if you keep discounting, if you keep bringing things down just to hook somebody up, because you still I'm building my portfolio mode, even though you have plenty of portfolio clients in there that are screaming at the success stories for what you do, but you keep justifying that, you're lowering yourself from a space of you give, grow. You're giving in your energy, you're giving in your resources to grow in your gratitude for all the great, impactful work you're able to do on your road to your truth, or you give in to go broke. And you have to be mindful, because selling is serving too. That's all a part of how you create the balance as a business owner, especially as an entrepreneur, and even more so if you're a bootstrap entrepreneur like I am. We didn't have any loans. There was banks with a 750 plus credit score that were like, nope. It was complete racial for me and my husband. So we were like, all right, we got to take all our savings. And in doing that, and in taking that big risk, we had to be really clear about how are we going to do this. And we made a ton of mistakes in the beginning, complete, without the guidance, without the coaching, without the mentoring, without the support. And as we learned to do better, we started to really be better about our boundaries. So that's what I would give you from that perspective. I know that was a lot with the IAC and the give, grow, and the admitting your truth over your boundaries for the formula for work-life balance. But I hope that served you well. And I am open to questions before we roll this over for the next expert facilitator. So I hope I honored you with some really good tools and techniques for creating your work-life balance. I'm honored by that. Thank you. I'm just checking to see if there's any questions. I must have blew you guys out the water because I don't see any questions, which is totally okay. If you do have questions, you can always follow up with me later at Ask Naketa. I'm Ask Naketa on every platform. Going through the comments. You guys are the best. All right. Have a good one.